Hey you guys, it's Crystal from the Abundantly Blessed Homestead, where we use the wisdom of our ancestors to grow amazing food and cook amazing meals for our family. Today we're going to be talking about meal planning. This is just a skim the surface sort of video, so if you're looking for something that's way deep, it's probably not going to be found here. But I'm going to cover the basics of meal planning. In my opinion, there's 3 different types of meal planning. I'm going to cover all 3 of those. Here's a little bit of forewarning. Someone is playing over there, so there could be some like choo-choo or car noises. We're just going to roll with it. There's 5 kids in this house, so we do have interruptions, and we just roll with it. I'm also going to be discussing ways that we have found to take leftovers for lunch. That's a huge way to save money and make your life a little bit more simple. So we'll go over that at the end of the video. I also wanted to mention that we do have cooking classes once a week on Tuesday nights at 5:15 Central Time, where we make a nourishing meal live, and we could make it together. At the end of those videos are the ingredients lists for your shopping for the next week. So this next week we're going to be making an amazing soup called cheeseburger soup. It's really, really great. It's one of our family favorites. If you need the ingredients to that, please go back to last week's live cooking class and go all the way to the end of the video, and somewhere towards the end there will be a list of ingredients. In order to find the live cooking classes, however, you have to go through a little bit more of a step than you have to on normal channels, because we do not have 1,000 subscribers. So if you like this type of content, please remember to subscribe. Let's get to the 1,000 mark so I can stream directly to YouTube. In order to find the live videos, you will have to search out the Abundantly Blessed Homestead in the search icon on YouTube, and then click on the Abundantly Blessed Homestead YouTube page that comes up on the top, and then it will come up as a live option for you to join in on the chat and the action of a live cooking class. Okay, so the first type of meal planning to me is no planning at all. So if that is you, that is okay. Please just own it. Let's go ahead and let's bulk up your pantry a little bit more. So let's say that you don't like to select meals every month. You just kind of cook what people feel like cooking. So my suggestion to you would be to make a list on a piece of paper or a whiteboard of the meals that you make the most at home. What is your family craving the most? So maybe you write down pizza, maybe you write down spaghetti, maybe you write down chili. Write those, the list of those foods, those meals, on either a whiteboard that's hanging on your fridge or a notebook that's close by. And log for a couple of weeks what your go-to meals are. And then, yes, here comes the planning. Bulk up your pantry with those ingredients so that you have those ingredients on hand to make those meals. Whenever you guys get an itch for chili, you'll have the ingredients in your pantry to make that meal. Okay, so then the second type of meal planner would be what I call an extreme meal planner. I used to do that. And that would be that I would write out some meals. So I'll write some right here. So we'll say wild rice soup. We'll do, let's see what, chili. And I would have one column on my piece of paper with the name of the meal I'm going to make. And on this other side, I'd have a to-do list. So for instance, for chili, this is kind of a bad, hang on. We gotta do something else. We'll do, let's just say there's a meal here, and then there's chili, okay? Okay? So then 3 days prior, or 2 days prior, I need on my to-do list, soak, beans. And that's for the chili that's 3 days away. Then the next day, it would be ferment beans. And so on, and you'd have your entire week planned out, every day of the week, what was on your to-do list on the right-hand side, and your meal on the left, okay? That's totally doable, and if you work or you have an extremely busy schedule, maybe you are a single mom, and it's hard to keep things straight, extreme planning is amazing, because then you have a list of everything you must do on that day. It's like a to-do list over here, okay? And so that's great. The only problem with this for my family is there's not enough flexibility. We have a farm, we have a lot of animals, we raise a lot of our own food, and not having any flexibility doesn't really work for us very well. But this is a great option if it does. And you can also take your meals on this side and make your list of ingredients and make yourself a grocery list. So I'm going to tell you guys where I'm at. I'm somewhere in the middle. So I don't know what that is. A mediocre planner? I don't know. I think the way I plan leans more towards extreme planning, but not quite so extreme. I did that extreme planning for a while, and then I just got stressed because I felt like, because we were only making certain meals because I was tired or what have you that weren't on the list, that I was failing somehow, so I had to give it up. Okay, so my version of planning is this. I select 7 meals a month for my family, and I take them all times 4. Now, when I'm selecting the meals and I'm writing down the ingredients, I make sure that that meal will feed my family not only for dinner, but for a leftover lunch, either the next day or sometime in that week. And that's where the taking a hot meal for lunch plays in hand. We'll talk about that just in a minute. So what I usually do is take a recipe, and once again, here comes a whiteboard, but you could use a notebook as well. So what I do is I go through all of my recipes. I'm going to select 7. I'm going to start with the first one on the list, and I will write down, let's just say onions as a main ingredient. Let's say in order for the soup to feed us for dinner and then lunch the next day, it takes 2 onions. So then 2 onions times 4 meals is 8 onions. That's my first meal done. Then I usually put a comma, and then I do the next recipe. Let's say it takes, 1 onion to do 2 meals, and then we take it times 4, because the 2 meals in the beginning is the initial meal plus lunch. So we've got 1 onion to do that, and then we take that times 4, that's 4 onions. And you would do this with everything. You could do it with carrots, do it with celery, and you'd have all these numbers, and then over here, I would add them up. So 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 onions, and you do the same thing with carrots, and you'd have a master list over on this side of your piece of paper that would tell you exactly what your shopping list is for 1 month. Now, I don't typically plan our breakfasts. We have chickens here that lay eggs. I put a lot of my grain-free recipes already up on the channel here with muffins and everything like that. We make some oatmeal bakes, which I do plan to make videos on that. And so usually I go kind of by the seat of my pants for breakfast. I probably should get a little better at that. If I wanted to improve in a category, that would probably be it. But anyway, that's how I do it, you guys. I also found that if you can do the same 7 meals for 2 months in a row, you will save even more. I reduced my Azure monthly bill by at least 25% by continuing the same 7 meals for 2 months. And the reason why is because you can buy in bulk with almost every ingredient. And everybody knows once you buy in bulk, you save more. So if you can find 7 meals your family won't be sick of eating once a week for 8 weeks, go ahead and do it. It's a big money saver. Okay, so one last thing before I let you guys go. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet because I know it's just a talking video and people get bored. I get it. Okay, so taking warm food for work. The best way that we have found is this little mini crock pot. It is made by Crock-Pot. You can buy them on Amazon. I'm not really sure where else you can buy them. But basically, this does not cook food, but this does warm food up to piping hot. And all you need is obviously access to a plug-in, okay? If you are a traveling person, if you had an inverter or something that you could plug any sort of plug-in into, this would be awesome for that. So out came the little insert that goes in the middle. So let's say at night you made chili, you have leftover chili for the next lunch. You'd go ahead and dish this one up with the already cooked chili. Put this inside your refrigerator, and the next day all you do is grab this container out. You slip it inside the crock pot, put on the lid, and when you get to work, you unwind this cord here and plug it in. And if you plug it in at like 8, by noon it will be piping hot. So that's a really great way to take meals. Other options is, I know like in Walmart, in the camping section, they have like little food thermoses that keep your food hot as well. The only disadvantage to those that we have found is that if you are loading that thermos the morning of, which kind of makes your morning a little bit more stressful, and not only that, but you have to prime these food thermoses, and that takes time to boil the water, pour the water in, make it sit it for 5 minutes, drain it out, and then heat up your soup and put it in there. So it just takes a little bit more time, and my husband does not have a lot of time into the morning. So this little mini crock pot was the best way to go for that. I'm sure Yeti has a version of a food thermos that you could prime. We've never gone that way, but I'm sure they have it. So anyway, that is my advice on meal planning. If you have tips for me or tips that have worked for your family, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Let's start a conversation about meal planning, you guys. I would love that very, very much. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. It's really been helping you guys with the algorithm. We've been getting almost 10 subscribers a day, which is really helping our subscriber count get to 1,000, which would be amazing. And then we'll have a giveaway. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday night at 5:15 Central Time for the cooking class. All right, have a good day.